The story begins in the year 1944, during World War II, when the sounds of gunfire echoed everywhere. In the Pacific Ocean, we see an American Marine captain named Allison. His group was attacked by Japanese soldiers, and somehow Allison managed to survive and reach a rubber raft. He drifted alone in the ocean for several days. As he continued to move forward alone, he spotted an island. Seeing this, he quickly paddled his raft toward the island, reached the shore, and left the raft aside as he began searching for help. But all he could see were trees and rocks. Then, his eyes fell on a church. When Allison went there, he saw a Catholic nun emerging from inside the church. Her name was Angela. Angela got scared upon seeing Allison, but he said, "Don't be afraid. I'm American. You're not in any danger from me." He asked her how many people live there. She replied, "I live here alone." Hearing this, Allison couldn't believe it. Angela took Allison to her shelter and gave him food. Allison asked her why she was living alone there. Angela explained, "I came to this island with a priest. We were trying to rescue some elderly priests from Japanese soldiers. But by the time we reached here, the Japanese had already arrived and captured those priests. Seeing the situation, we decided to hide here for a few days. But after some time, the priest I came with fell ill and passed away. Since then, I've been living here alone. My people must have thought I was also captured by the Japanese, so no one came to rescue me." Allison then told her his story. He said, "I'm a Marine. Japanese soldiers attacked our group, and I barely escaped with my life and somehow reached here." After that, Allison rested for a while. When he woke up, he saw Angela lighting a candle and praying to God, seeking divine guidance. Later, both of them went out in search of food. Allison climbed a tree to pluck coconuts and fruits and handed them down to Angela. But he needed something more for protein. Then he saw a turtle in the sea. He grabbed a rope and a piece of wood and got into the raft. Angela also joined him, and they moved toward the turtle. However, catching the turtle wasn't easy for Allison. He fell into the sea during the attempt, but with Angela's help, he managed to catch the turtle and return to the raft. After returning to the island, Allison cooked the turtle and ate it. He told Angela, "We have everything we need on this island. Even if no one comes to rescue us, we can survive." Angela asked him, "Who do you have back home?" Allison replied, "I'm an orphan. I spent 14 years in an orphanage. After finishing school, I decided to join the army because I wanted to do something for my country." Angela then shared, "I'm also an orphan. I have great faith in God, which is why I chose to become a nun. It brings me happiness, and I want to guide people on the right path." Allison and Angela were quite different from each other. Angela was calm and devout, regularly praying and relying deeply on God. On the other hand, Allison wasn't very religious and had a tougher demeanor. The next day, Allison and Angela saw Japanese fighter planes in the sky. Seeing this, Allison quickly took Angela into hiding, knowing that being spotted could cost them their lives. He told Angela, "We should stay hidden for a few days. I've seen a cave. It might be safer there." Angela agreed, and they both went to the cave and stayed there all day. The following morning, they heard loud bomb explosions. Allison peeked out of the cave and saw Japanese planes heavily bombing the island. Angela got very frightened and began praying. Allison consoled her and gave her courage. After some time, when the planes left, they came out of the cave and saw destruction everywhere. Their shelter and the church had been completely destroyed. Soon after, a unit of Japanese soldiers arrived on the island to set up a weather observation camp. They also destroyed the raft Allison had used to get there. Seeing them, Allison and Angela were forced to hide in the cave again. Japanese soldiers were patrolling nearby. This made Allison alert, and he handed Angela a path to escape while he stood ready with a knife. But the soldiers didn't enter the cave and eventually left. Angela told Allison, "I will surrender myself to the Japanese soldiers. I believe they won't harm a nun like me. This will give you a chance to escape." She also said, "We have no food left." But Allison refused and said, "We can't take that risk. They might do anything to you. We'll have to stay hidden here." In the evening, Allison stepped out of the cave and saw that the Japanese soldiers had set up several camps. Carefully avoiding them, he went to catch fish. Some soldiers spotted him, so Allison pretended to be dead. This trick worked, and the soldiers didn't suspect anything and walked away. After that, Allison caught some fish and returned to the cave to share the food with Angela. But Angela, having become a nun, had given up eating fish. But there was nothing else to eat, so Angela was forced to eat the fish. However, the raw fish didn't sit well with her, and she ended up vomiting. Then Angela, without eating anything, went to sleep. A little while later, while Angela was sleeping, Allison quietly stepped out of the cave and began observing the movements of the Japanese soldiers. He smeared his face with soot so that he couldn't be seen properly in the dark. When he found an opportunity, he quietly sneaked into their camp and started stuffing food supplies into a bag. Just then, a soldier arrived, forcing Allison to hide silently without moving. He didn't get a chance to escape, and the situation became very dangerous, making him stay there the whole night. The next morning, when all the Japanese soldiers were busy with training outside the camp, Allison slowly sneaked out with the bag without being seen and went into hiding. Meanwhile, when Angela woke up and didn't find Allison in the cave, she panicked and thought he might have been killed, which made her cry. But Allison managed to return safely to the cave, avoiding the soldiers. Seeing him alive, Angela was overjoyed. Allison told her that he had gone to the camp to get food, but Angela became angry with him. She said, "You left without telling me, and I was very scared." Allison apologized and promised not to do it again. The next day, Allison gifted Angela a flower and a comb, which made her happy. He then asked, "Don't you ever wish to leave the life of a nun and live a normal life?" Angela replied that she had not yet taken her final vows, and that one is given 5 years to fully decide whether they want to become a nun. She said she was still not completely certain about her decision. The truth was, Allison had started to fall in love with Angela, and he didn't want her to become a nun entirely. Just then, they heard noises outside and saw that the Japanese soldiers were leaving the island. This made them both very happy. The leftover supplies in the Japanese camp meant they no longer had to worry about food and survival. Later, Allison told Angela that he had always been very lonely since childhood. He had faced many hardships, but now he wanted to be happy with her. He confessed, "I've fallen in love with you, and I want you to reconsider your decision of becoming a nun and marry me once the war is over." Angela was shocked upon hearing this and said that she had dedicated herself to God and could not betray him by being with someone else. This deeply saddened Allison, but he told her, "If my words have hurt you, then please forgive me." That night, after dinner, Allison found a bottle of Japanese liquor and drank too much. In his drunken state, he began mocking Angela's vows and said they were like Adam and Eve, stuck on an island. Hearing this, Angela became very upset and ran off into the jungle in the rain, where she fell asleep in the cold. Allison searched for her, but couldn't find her. The next morning, he found her unconscious. He picked her up in his arms and took her toward the camp, but then he saw that the Japanese soldiers had returned. So, he took Angela back to the cave, where her condition worsened. Then Allison risked his life and sneaked into the Japanese camp again to steal blankets and medicine. However, a soldier saw him, and to escape, Allison had to stab the soldier with a knife and hide the body. Upon returning, he quickly changed Angela's wet clothes and gave her the medicine. For the first time, he also prayed. The next morning, when Angela regained consciousness, she asked who had changed her clothes. Allison told her that he had done so because of her condition. He apologized again and said that whatever he said the previous night was due to the alcohol. Angela forgave him. Suddenly, they heard the sound of bombs outside. When Allison went out to see, he realized that the Japanese soldiers were bombing the island again because they had discovered one of their soldiers had been killed by Allison. The soldiers were now searching for Allison to kill him. When he told Angela that he had been seen while retrieving the blanket and had to kill the soldier in self-defense, Angela was heartbroken and prayed to God for forgiveness. Meanwhile, some Japanese soldiers reached the entrance of the cave and shouted, "If anyone is inside, come out now, or we'll throw grenades inside." Now Allison and Angela had only two options, either surrender or die in the explosion. They were both terrified. Angela began praying, thinking that their death was now inevitable. Just then, loud bombing sounds were heard outside, and the Japanese soldiers started screaming. Allison realized that the American Navy had begun bombing the island. Allison and Angela came out of the cave and saw American planes bombing the Japanese soldiers. They were overjoyed to see this. Allison said that landing would not be easy for the American soldiers because the Japanese had brought 4 cannons and set them up strategically around the island. He told Angela, "God also wants me to help our soldiers." Angela gave him permission to go. Allison left the cave and saw that most Japanese soldiers had already been killed. Dodging the bombs, he ran and began disabling the cannons one by one. During this, he got injured due to the bombing, but he didn't stop. Somehow, he managed to disable all the cannons, saving the lives of many American soldiers. After this, the American Navy stopped the bombing, and Angela came out of the cave. Seeing Allison injured, she began treating him. Allison told her, "Now the time has come for us to part ways. Perhaps we'll never meet again." Hearing this, Angela said, "Even if I can't spend my life with you, you'll always be close to my heart." After that, the American Navy landed on the island and hoisted their flag. When the naval captain saw Allison alive, he was shocked because they had believed he was dead. They placed Allison on a stretcher and began to carry him away. Angela walked behind him. Allison never forced his love on Angela and always respected her decision to become a nun. At the same time, Angela also understood Allison's emotions. This film teaches us that true love doesn't always mean being together. Sometimes, hearts can stay connected even when people are apart. And with this, the film ends. If you were in Allison's place, would you also risk your life for your country? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comment section.